going to resurface, they said, well, let's match the grant only, and then that way the other small portion of the road would not be complete. This will allow us to complete that whole section, and we don't have to talk about Shaw Avenue anymore, at least until something deteriorates. So instead of allowing the $250,000 grant just from the county and the $250,000 match, minus this small section, which was on the original legislation. The second piece of legislation did not contain this piece of Shaw Avenue. And I asked the administration why, and I don't know if I got a good justification why, but it was my understanding that if at the rate that we can resurface this last section of Shaw Avenue was commensurate with the necessity, which it basically was, at 135,000, let's close the gap and get it squared away, since we have the resources now that we have not had in the past. So this was an opportunity for us to leverage the resources that we have right now, as well as get a major portion of a road which our children pass by every day on their way to school. And now they're back in school, and we would like to have them have a safe passage to their place of education. That's what this legislation was about. Thank you.
Okay, so we've got that.
Mr. Martin.
I still have it, yeah. What I'm saying, Council President, is the smart thing for us to do is to go and get this done. You know, I just think it's a smart thing to do. So when we get to that, we can have the discussion, but that's what was to add ordinance 3221, and then we discuss it when we get to it. Since we waived the 24-hour rule and we spin the rule now, so we can discuss it when we get to it.
Did we vote already?
I don't know. I got kind of thrown off.
I think we were in the middle of a vote.
Well, let's go. Let's vote again so we can make sure.
No, we were in the middle of a vote.
Okay,
well,
well,
not clerk. Can we finish the vote? The roll call?
Okay, why don't she start over again so I can make a note?
No, we not starting over, Martin. She only had, who else has to vote? Gowdy is the only one.
She didn't call me. I don't remember her calling me. If she did, I don't remember.
Clerk, where are we at?
Okay.
Counselor Stevenson abstained.
Okay.
Counselor Gowdy abstained.
She said she needed more information. I don't know if she still needs that information. She may be okay.
Please finish calling the roll.
Where you at, Gowdy? Where are you?
She already voted, Mr. Martin.
So you abstain, Gowdy? I just need to.
Right.
So
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Counselor Martin.
I'm in favor of yay.
Counselor Smith. Counselor Austin.
Yay.
So we have two that abstained, one is absent, and we have two.
Can I ask Counselor Gowdy if I was able to answer her question so she, have the information that she needed that prevented her from being a part of this vote?
Come on.
Can we move on? Because the vote, please, clerk, please call, you just called the vote. So what does that mean? Let the clerk do her due.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk, go ahead. We're listening.
We have two that abstained. We have two that voted yay. And we have one counselor that's absent.
Okay, I'm going to see where Counselor Smith is.
So the motion to add the ordinance to tonight's agenda failed, or did it pass?
Well, that's my question. You have no one, you have.
Well, you can't count an absent vote, so it had to fail. It takes three for a quorum.
They have the option to revisit when Mr. Smith comes if they wish.
Yeah, I'm going to call him.
No, he's running a little bit late, Councilman Austin.
Okay.
He already texted.
We'll get his vote when he signs in. Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, hello, can we move
so
on?
what are you doing, Council President? What are we doing now?
We're moving on.
Okay.
Are we tabling?
No, it failed. It failed, Tracy.
No, did it fail?
Yes, it failed.
All right.
takes
Yes, it failed.
All right, let's move
We'll
on.
get Counselor Smith's input. We'll keep it
No,
moving.
you ain't gonna, no, it failed. Austin, will you stop? Y'all need to stop and let's move on until we find out more information.
Well, we're not gonna find that out today since it's failed. We don't need to discuss it no more.
That's right.
Okay,
Can
let's
we-
move on.
Can we
Okay.
move on?
Yeah,
As
let's
I
move on.
requested, Clerk, you have the
I'm
floor.
trying to say something here. The motion to add ordinance 3221 to the agenda has failed.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have remarks of the public on agenda items. 2-minute time frame, please.
Are there any public that would like to speak? Please state your name and address.
I state my name, I'm gonna state my address. My name's Domain.
Come on, so we can hear you.
My name is Omay. I'm concerned about these contracts and paving various streets. And I thought the council gave a list of streets to be paved. And then since you have this money, Rockport need to be paved. It is nothing but, as former Councilman Brewer referred to them as gutters or something that she referred to. But anyway, there are potholes. It's not potholes anymore. It's down to the bricks because the street was paved over bricks. There was brick streets before, and that's all you can see is the bricks. So Rockport need to be paved, whereas you have this money to do the streets. You don't do streets just because you know people in the area and they may vote for you. You don't know what the people do. You're supposed to represent the city, period. And so there are streets that need to be paved that's not being paved, and you are selecting streets. This street is ridiculous. I mean, utterly ridiculous, and it needs attention. And I think I brought this to it before because someone was talking about the streets in the park. And we need to do the streets where people travel on and paying their taxes, and we want some service. Now, the people on Rockford need service. We need some service from the city because you're not doing anything over there on Rockford. And there are other streets as well. And so you get into these contracts and it just doesn't make sense. You spend the money wisely on streets that really need to be prepared. I mean, really need repaired. And secondly,
Mr. Mays, excuse me, your time is up, sir.
thank you. You kicked
You're
that.
welcome.
Any other public? Is there any other public wishing to speak?
Good evening, Council. Kelvin Irby, 14802 Elm Avenue. I have a complaint about streets that are incomplete with a resurfacing. Elm Street is not resurfaced. It was a project that was started and has not been finished. It has been cut open. It has been destroyed. It's not complete. One of these ordinances that is stating about getting rid of more vehicles from different areas. What vehicles are listed? And from here forward, we should, if you're going to get rid of a vehicle or something, we should see it up here on the agenda. It shouldn't be you keep telling us get rid of this, and to come to find out this is something that the city is still using and needs. Also with repairing the Civic Center, what is the amount dollar that is required, and what is the distance that they are covering for the Civic Center? Thank you.
Any other public wishing to speak at this time? Hearing none, clerk?
We have no presentations at this time. Next, we have minutes to be approved. Council President, do you want me to list them all? How do you want to do this?
I have I think, reviewed a substantial amount of these minutes. I think I didn't get my originals back from you.
Yes, you did,
Do I have them?
with the corrections.
I don't. Okay. All right, so with that in mind. Did we make all of the corrections? I see notes on here. We need to move to approve them, but I'm still seeing notes that you left on these.
Well, I gave you a corrected copy. And I gave you what you gave me.
Okay. Anyhow, council, we need to approve several of these minutes. That's what the issue is here. And they go back to November of 2020. And they come through January 14th, I think is what we need, what I've reviewed. I don't know if you all have reviewed. So that's where we are. So clerk, go ahead and probably read them off individually. I think we have to accept them.
We don't have to accept them. Madam President,
Yes,
has everybody read the minutes? So
that's what I'm asking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I told you which ones I've reviewed. I don't know about everybody else. I have reviewed from November 17th all the way through January 14th. So I don't know about everybody else, but I'm good with
I read 4 of them. I didn't finish. I got them marked 3 or 4. So can we just skip the minutes and get them doing the next time? Please? And then Gotti agrees. Let's just skip the minutes and we'll do it at the next meeting. Please.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Next, we have reports and announcements of the mayor.
Is Mayor King on the line? Is Willa Hemmons on the line for Mayor King?
Mayor
Afternoon.
King's on.
Okay, go ahead, Mayor King.
Thank you, Council President. Good afternoon, Council. Good afternoon, everyone else who was on the call. Try to make this brief. We'll start off as usual over the last year and a couple months with the COVID-19 update. Please check the coronavirus ohio.gov or the CDC website for accurate information regarding the coronavirus update throughout the state, the county, and our city. There will be a pop-up vaccine at Shaw High 28. Pop-up vaccine at 2 p.m. sponsored by Metro Health. That'll be at Shaw High School. Again, Walgreens is having it. You have to have an appointment, so I will call over to Walgreens. They have a limited number, so you have to call over to get that. The Wolfstein Center is up and running. They're doing a fantastic job. I was down there once or twice just to watch how it's working. It's working very well. This Saturday at the MLK, a group has got together. They will be passing out free diapers and other free supplies, as well as information for single moms. That's this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We talked about this at length, and that is part of our response to COVID-19, and that is taking food, boxing it, and then delivering it. So we did do a food pantry today, and we have included proteins. There was a pound of turkey, a pound of chicken, and a pound of beef, as well as rice and beans, potatoes, yams. Beautiful box of food today was delivered to 300 to 400 residents. To be a part of that, please call 681-2211 and get on that list. Again, that's 681-2211. Next food pantry will be in 2 weeks. The American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, we are still waiting on a confirmation as to what East Cleveland will receive, further guidance as to how that can be appropriated. I will call for a special meeting with council so that we can better understand that. So stay tuned for that. East Cleveland Clean starts this Saturday. We will be doing Belvoir. Again, we're still in the pandemic state, so I would ask that all of you who want to come out, please come out. However, keep the governor's recommendations in mind: mask, gloves, sanitize your hands, 6 feet. Let's come out and clean up Belvoir. It has been an eyesore in the community for quite some time. So we will be out this Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 3:30. And I know Councilman Martin will be glad to hear this. We will provide a lunch. So come on.
All right.
As many of you have heard, it was a great day for justice here in the United States of America, a great day for justice, as he was found guilty on all 3 counts. Yes.
Waiting on Larry.
Thanks for your patience.
Waiting on Larry McDonald.
Purchasing of Euclid Avenue has restarted. So I'd like to thank Governor DeWine, Department of Transportation, our county exec for their help in getting Euclid Avenue resurfaced, and for your patience as they continue to do such. Through our relationships with the county executive, and I can't forget our county council, Cheryl Stevens, Lee Road, they will begin resurfacing of Lee Road from Euclid to the Cleveland Heights border this year. And I'm hoping that they will start Superior and Euclid to the border.
Is that your music, Brandon King?
Yeah.
Put the card on file? No.
That's Heather.
That's Heather?
Yes.
Unless there are any questions or concerns of me, Council President, that will conclude my report.
I do have some concerns, Mr. Mayor, but we'll get to those later.
Absolutely, at your convenience.
Clerk,
Give me one moment, please.
I don't know.
It's gone again.
Who's that?
Hmm. We have no receipts of communication or petitions at this time. Next, we'll have reports from council committees. Our next scheduled regular council meeting will be May 4th at 6:30 p.m. Councilor Gowdy, do you have a report on your contracts and property committee?
Yes, it will be next May 6th. We will be talking about contracts and property and what we're gonna keep in the committee and what we're not gonna keep in committee, so we can move on. I need all the grass cutting contracts in my committee. And I also need anybody that's won a contract, we need to come forward. Anybody can come forward with the contract so we can review it. That's it.
Next, we have Health and Safety Committee.
Yeah, we met a couple of weeks ago, and it was a pretty informative meeting. We dealt with pursuit chases, and we talked about the body cams. We also brought up the fact that we wanted to get the best body cams that we can get out there. So Chief Gardner is gonna look into that. Chief Gardner also said he's been in contact with the city of Cleveland, the safety director, I think Kerry Howard, and the police chief in Cleveland to see how we can work together in terms of pursuits. And also the gun buyback program is going slow, but people are turning in guns. That was the essence of the meeting. Our next meeting will be May 11th, and we're going to find out from the police chief what are some of the better body cams and what progress are we making on pursuits and chases in terms of not just Cleveland, but Cleveland Heights, Euclid, South Euclid, and the cities that surround us. We're concerned about that and how we can bring those together to have a collaborative type of thing. And that'll be May 11th. So I want to thank the police chief because he did reach out to Cleveland. We got to reach out to the other municipalities. And the essence of what we're trying to do there, if we could bring all those cities together in terms of pursuit chases and putting down them strips on the street that stop a car and cutting down on unnecessary chases. Also, the chief of police, Scott Goddard, was provided with their chase policy in Cleveland, which is pretty comprehensive. So we're going to see how things work, but eventually we're going to pass legislation on that. So that concludes the report of health and safety. Again, the next health and safety meeting will be at 5:30, May 11th. Thank you very much.
Next, we have a finance committee.
The finance committee is going to meet later this month, but we will announce that date later. Thank you.
Next, we have general services. Counselor Austin, are you there?
Greetings. General Services did have a meeting. We have another meeting coming up on Thursday. In our last meeting, we discussed the way ahead for improving our infrastructure. We talked about the community actually getting involved in doing some self-care in the community, keeping the catch basins clean, staying focused on what we have to do going forward. We talked about the cleanup effort that's going to take place. We have Ward 2 and Ward 3 have agreed to have a cleanup for Ward 2 and Ward 3. I would like to confirm with Ward 4 that they're okay with having a cleanup on May the 8th, starting at 8:30 in the morning and going to 4:30 p.m. or 4 o'clock p.m. And that is a major step forward for what we want to do in the city. Just as a update, since this is an opportunity to let the folks know that the solid waste management department and Rumpke, we're asking those guys for a discount or some exceptional consideration to assist us in disposing of some of the debris that we gather on May 8th. So more to follow on either cost and or benefit. So we can commend those agencies for providing us some exceptional service and support as we go through the process of doing our summer cleanup. So more to follow from General Services, and hopefully you can make it on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. Thank you, and that's all I have for General Services.
Next, we have personnel and appointments. Counselor Smith. Counselor Smith is not available at this time. This next meeting will be held April 27th at 6:30 p.m. for personnel and appointments. There are no proclamations or bids at this time. Next, we'll go to legislation. We have Resolution 09-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept the bid of and contract with Johnson Controls 6650 West Snowville Road, Suites K and L, Brecksville, Ohio 44141, in the amount of $61,476.25 for the purchase and installation of security doors in and around the Martin Luther King Civic Center, 14801 Shaw Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio 44112. Utilizing proceeds from the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act funds. I don't know what something is. Let me continue.
Heather? Is that
this is-
Heather?
This is requested by the Community Development Department, sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President, and this is a second read.
We do not need to discuss this any further. We already discussed it enough and I'm ready to vote on
I want to co-sponsor this legislation.
I'll co-sponsor it too, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Any further discussion? We'll call the roll. Counselor Stevenson?
She got you.
How do you know she got it?
Did you get the two co-sponsored, Madam Clerk?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Co-sponsors, Counselors Martin and Austin.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And there is no further discussion. Can we call the roll?
Go ahead, clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Stevenson?
Does this, look, I requested changes on some of this stuff, and I don't know if they're here or not. So
We're not in discussion.
I abstain. I abstain. I know we're not in discussion,
All right,
but
all
I
right.
don't see what I had requested.
Counselor Gowdy?
Yeah,
Counselor Martin?
Yay.
Counselor Smith? Counselor Austin?
Yay.
Okay. Resolution 09-21 has passed. Next, we have Resolution 10-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept the bid of and contract with Johnson Controls, 6650 West Snowville Road, Suites K and L, Brecksville, Ohio 44141, in the amount of $85,355.12 for the purchase and installation of a fire alarm security system in and around the Martin Luther King Civic Center, 14801 Shaw Avenue, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, utilizing proceeds from the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act funds. This is requested by the Community Development Department, sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President. This is a second read.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to co-sponsor this legislation.
Okay,
I'd like to co-sponsor it too, and I got a comment too.
okay.
Can I?
yes.
Okay, the fire chief,
Three.
Madam Clerk, Madam President,
Yeah.
At my last Health and Safety Committee meeting, I forgot to mention that the fire chief talked about this and how important it was. So to have this, so it's very important. I just want to get that in there. Thank you.
Clerk, call the roll.
Any further discussion?
Any further discussion?
There's no further discussion. Can we call the roll now?
Yes,
Counselor Stevenson,
abstain.
did you say abstain?
Yes,
Okay. Counselor Gowdy,
Still kind of believe that this is
Oh,
still
it's
kind of
not in
high.
discussion, Ms.
But
Gowdy.
it ain't in discussion, but I feel like I want to do
You
it
can't
because,
discuss that. God, you
Okay.
got to vote.
I'll go, I'll pass it.
Okay, say yay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, Lord,
Counselor Martin,
I hope
Yay.
nothing get broken into.
Okay.
Counselor Smith, was that Counselor Smith? No. Counselor Austin?
Yes, I say yay, and I thought we supposed to say like, I like to sponsor resolution. Would that say 10-21 and move first adoption? I think that's how we're supposed to be voting right now. The person is sponsoring legislation, one of us is supposed to say that. I guess I'll say that for the team. I'd like to sponsor resolution number 10-21 and move first adoption, and then we vote. That's how it's supposed to be. I don't know if I don't know, my earpiece might have went out. I might have missed that, but I didn't hear that.
Are we in discussion?
No,
or
we're
are
not.
we voting?
We are voting the proper way, and we just did. So if you would,
Okay, so can we
call the
move
roll, we'll
on?
be good to go. Yes.
Clerk
What?
of 1021.
Resolution 1021 has passed.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution 1121, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to enter into leasehold purchase agreements for the acquisition of a 2 EPC 7,000 pound capacity, 80-volt electric 4-wheel pneumatic tire lift truck compact in the amount of $70,572.08 for the use by the Service Department utilizing general revenue funds from the CARES Act. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President, and this is a second read.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to co-sponsor this legislation.
Madam Clerk, I'll co-sponsor this too.
Okay.
Well,
Madam,
could you please call her? Madam President, please, because in the discussion for a while, so the Service Department definitely need this.
Where,
Sorry,
what,
Councilor Gowdy, did you request me to do something? What did you, I didn't understand what you said.
It's up to the president to call the roll, but that's what we moving for.
Madam Clerk, basically what we're saying is we've discussed this for the last few months.
Yeah.
So we're ready to act on it.
Okay. Counselor Stevenson?
abstain?
Hold on. What Council Stevens is supposed to say right now is somebody, this legislation bears your name. What is your pleasure?
No, that's not what Counselor Stevenson is supposed to say. That's not my legislation. I'm not sponsoring it. That's Ms.
Hold on.
Gowdy is
But if you are
sponsoring
the-
this, Mr. Austin.
Right. That's why you're supposed to ask her what is her pleasure, so she can go through the process and can do it correctly. And I'm just for a matter of formality. It's
Mr.
not a bad
Austin,
thing. Go ahead, do
Mr.
your thing. I just want to do it right. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Gowdy, go ahead.
Ms. Gowdy, what is your pleasure? This legislation bears your name. What is your pleasure?
I would like to move this in adoption.
Sponsor move
And
for
I
adoption.
second that motion, Madam President.
Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Stevenson?
Abstain.
Counselor Gowdy?
Yay.
Counselor Martin?
Yay.
Counselor Smith? Counselor Austin?
Yay.
Resolution 11-21 has passed.
And I'm sorry, I was looking for legislation. I don't seem to have all the legislation in my package, so I'm sorry.
Resolution 15-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to sell certain inoperable surplus vehicles through auction to scrap dealers or to sell the salvage city vehicles through competitive offers. and if none is forthcoming, to junk pursuant to appropriate health and safety regulations in order to provide for safe access upon city workspaces. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large, co-sponsored by Counselors Nathaniel Martin and Ernest Smith. This is a second read.
Is the mayor online? Or Counselor Austin, this legislation bears your name. What is your?
I would like to,
here?
right, I would like to sponsor resolution 15-21 and move for its adoption.
Clerk,
Madam President,
yes.
I just want to add, it looked like there's 14 vehicles on here. We've seen this before. I just want to add, I don't need to say all the vehicles, but I'm counting.
Well, we're not in discussion, Mr. Martin.
All right,
Can I get a second?
I'll second it if I have to.
If you have to. Thank you, sir.
Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Stevenson,
Abstain.
Counselor Gowdy,
She's abstaining.
I'm abstaining too because
We're
Counselor
not
Mo-
in discussion. Let her finish calling the roll, please.
Counselor-
You calling my name, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Okay, yay.
Counselor Smith, Counselor Austin,
Yay.
Resolution 15-21 has failed. Next, we have ordinance 20-21, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the county of Cuyahoga, Ohio, for the resurfacing of Ivanhoe Road from Euclid Avenue to East 152nd Street, with the county contributing 100% of the construction and design costs within the East Cleveland city limits for the project. This is requested by Brandon L. King, Mayor, sponsored by Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large, co-sponsored by Counselors Nathaniel Martin and Ernest Smith, and this is a second read.
Mr. Austin, this legislation bears your name. What's your pleasure?
I'd like to sponsor ordinance number 20-21 and move for its adoption.
I second that motion, Madam President.
Clerk, call the roll.
Is there any discussion?
Well, just that this is one of the areas where you can see as you come into the city of East Cleveland from Cleveland, that was kind of like an eyesore because it was, you can tell when you're coming across 152nd into East Cleveland, the road begins to deteriorate and you got to cross from one side of the street to the other in order to pass safely. And this will give us an opportunity not to have to do that or for our, those that visit our city as well as our residents not to have to do that in the future. It's a phenomenal thing for our city.
If I can, Madam President, I can add that our portion, the $250, our portions come out of CDBG or Community Block Grant money. Thank you.
$250,000.
Yes.
Any other discussion?
I just want to add the $250,000 of block grant is our portion. Thank you.
May I be recognized as Willa Hemmons?
Go ahead, we're in discussion.
Thank you. Yeah, this one, Ivanhoe, the county is contributing 100% of the construction and design costs. It was Shaw Avenue where there was a 50-50 split on portions of the road. Okay?
Which is late. Thank you for that clarification. That Shaw Avenue is later on this agenda.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Madam Law Director, are you saying that the streets are wrong on 22, 21?
Right. No.
We're on 21-21.
Oh, okay. All right.
Aren't we, clerk? Aren't we
Yeah.
on 21-21?
No,
That's the salt.
We're on
We're on
2021.
2021.
Oh, we're on 2021.
And the
Okay.
streets are correct. It's Ivanhoe.
Okay.
And the county is contributing.
100%.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Let's, is there any other discussion? Clerk?
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
2021.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Ordinance 2021 has passed. Next, we have Resolution 21-21, a resolution agreeing to participate in the Ohio Department of Transportation's ODOT Annual Winter Road Salt Bid for the 2021 to 2022 year in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 5513.0D. Please mute your mic. And hereby agrees to all of the following terms and conditions in its participation of the ODOT Winter Road Salt Contract. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large, co-sponsored by Counselors Nathaniel Martin and Ernest Smith. This is a second read.
Mr. Austin, this legislation bears your name. What is your pleasure? Clerk, I would like to co-sponsor this legislation also.
Okay.
Wow.
I'd like to sponsor resolution 21-21 and move for its adoption.
Second that motion.
Any discussion?
Yes,
If
this
I
is-
may be recognized, oh, I'm sorry, Willa Hemmons.
Go ahead.
We have until April 30th to get this approval down to ODOT in order for us to have salt next winter. So I'd appreciate it if we could, if it does pass, if we could get the paperwork in right away so that we can go online and submit the approved resolution. Okay?
Okay, and just if you would, I would like to have a note, please. Hello,
Go ahead, Counselor Smith.
I'm Counselor Austin.
I'm sorry, Counselor Austin. I'm trying to do too many things.
Yes, but not to worry. This is an opportunity for us to take advantage of the economies of scale. The more you buy, the less it costs, and that's just bottom line. We would like to participate in this the state of Ohio supported program, which allows us as a small municipality to get the best bang for our buck. Like I say, the more you buy, the less it costs. So we would be good stewards of the amount of salt that is required, and that will be based on the estimate provided by our service department. And I do support this legislation. Thank you. That's all I have.
Clerk, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith, Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Resolution 21-21 has passed. Next, we have ordinance 22-21, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the County of Cuyahoga, Ohio, for the resurfacing of Shaw Avenue from Hayden to Allegheny, with the county contributing 50% or up to $250,000 of the construction and design cost within the East Cleveland city limits for the project, and $250,000 coming from CDBG funds, for a total of $500,000 for the revised shortened area. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large, co-sponsored by Counselors Nathaniel Martin and Ernest Smith, and this is a second read.
Counselor Austin, this legislation bears your name. What is your pleasure?
I like to, I like to sponsor ordinance number 22-21 and move for its adoption.
Second that motion, and then just add that I was talking about 5 minutes ago about the CDBG funds.
Right, this is a 250,000. Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. This
Go
is
ahead, Counselor Austin.
This is the second modification of this particular legislation. The first part of the legislation incorporated the additional 125,000. I think it was like 135,000 the first time. And it was a full ride it encompasses it had the whole area to be resurfaced on the first transaction. The second go around reduced it, as it says in this preamble, if you will, from the 300 and whatever $1,000 it was to 250,000 as a match. And I asked the mayor why the reduction, and I don't know if it was just to balance the scale for 250,000 instead of finishing the whole section of the road. And when I made that recommendation that we take a look at what it costs to finish the whole section of the road, that's why the amended legislation, which we were not able to get onto the agenda today, was necessary to cover the initial estimate and not the reduced estimate that we have on this part of this particular resurfacing request. So this was a portion of what it took to complete the whole resurfacing for that area. And I really would like to bring that information back. So more to follow later, but yes, this is necessary. It's definitely beneficial, and it's phenomenal when we get a contribution from our excuse me, higher headquarters. Thank you, from the county.
Is there any other discussion?
No, I just wanted to say that the thing I brought up at the beginning of the meeting that failed, but I just wanted to state that if we got to, Robert Rules of Orders allows you to reconsider if Mr. Smith was here. Since he's not here, we'll just move on. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Clerk?
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith, Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Ordinance 22-21 has passed. Next, we have ordinance 24-21, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the county of Cuyahoga, Ohio, for the rehabilitation of Superior Road from Euclid Avenue to Lee Road, with the county contributing 100% of the construction and design cost within the East Cleveland city limits for the project. This is requested by Mayor Brandon L. King, sponsored by Timothy Austin, Counselor at Large, co-sponsored by Nathaniel Martin and Ernest Smith. This is a second read.
Counselor Austin, this legislation bears your name. What is your pleasure?
I would like to sponsor ordinance number 24-21 and move for its adoption.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any discussion?
Yes,
I
need to ask a question, Madam President. Who picking these?
Go ahead, Counselor Gowdy.
Who is picking these streets?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. It looks like it's supposed to be the county. I don't know.
The county don't know needs that need to be.
Let's see if we can get you an answer. Is the mayor on the line?
Yeah, because this is
Can
right.
I bring something back to other members' memory?
Mr. Austin, I would like the mayor to answer her question.
I support.
And
If he's not
he's
online.
there,
Thank you.
so he's there. Go ahead, Mayor King.
Thank you, Council President. Council Vice President, I missed the beginning of your question. Can you please restate your question for me, please? Council Vice President?
Yeah. I'm asking who picking these streets? I mean, the county don't know all the needs of all these streets, so who's actually picking these streets? Because it should be the council and the mayor coming together to pick these streets together. The money is being spent.
Okay, I see she's been cut off. So let me answer this question, and forgive me, council, if I get a little bit long-winded with this. A couple years ago, when I was in discussions with the transportation and Superior Avenue. So Euclid Avenue is a US highway. Now, Superior down going into Cleveland is labeled as a different road as Superior going up to Cleveland Heights. So last year, when we found out that per the ODOT grant, they were only coming up Superior from Cleveland to Euclid, right? Per the Department of Transportation. I talked to the county exec, and it's about relationships. It's about relationships. And County Woman Stevenson, I said, hey, I was promising this to the residents. We've been talking about this for 2 years, and you guys kind of made me look a little crazy because I was saying we're getting all of Superior done, and they went back, and County Councilwoman Stevenson is
Stevens.
Cheryl Stevens is such a champion for East Cleveland. She helped secure that money. So the reason that's being done, and we talked about this a number of times, Council Vice President, is because it is a county road. So that's how these roads get picked when they're using county funds. So Ivanhoe is a county road. There are a number of other streets in the interior of the city that are city roads, and that's how that got picked. I hope that answers your question. Cheryl Stevens. I'm looking here at the thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Does that do it for you, Ms. Gowdy?
Yeah, it makes sense. Wrong.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, clerk?
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith, Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Ordinance 24-21 has passed. Next, we have Resolution 28-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to amend the CARES Act funding, Public Law 116-136 of $657,684 as accepted in Resolution number 19-20, and amending the 2019 action plan to also accept $110,800 in CARES Act CDBG funding, with the funds to be utilized in the areas of food assistance, economic development, rental assistance, and facility upgrades, and to accept the 2021 action plan, declaring an emergency for the public health, safety, and welfare. This is requested by the Community Development Department, sponsored by Council President Corinne Stevenson. This is a second read.
Counselor, I'd like to pass the gavel to Ms. Gowdy.
This resolution bears your name. What is your pleasure, Madam President?
My pleasure is I need more information. This and I don't know. I don't see a breakdown in here as to how the money is going to be spent. So I actually would like to put this back in committee because I don't understand this thoroughly enough. And I've asked for clarification 2 weeks ago and I haven't received it.
Madam President and sponsor, I have a question about this to the mayors. The mayor, can you hear me, Brandon?
The mayor is online. Please state your question.
Okay, my question is, I got something in the mail from the homeless people today. And I was looking at this legislation before I got here and I said, we hardly ever say anything about homeless in East Cleveland. I guess we, can this money, once we work out the things that we got, there's some readiness about, can some of this money be used for homeless people? And is there a plan to use any money for homeless? That's my question to the mayor.
So thank you for your question. So the answer is maybe. What will happen is this money has been proportioned in percents into the different categories for funding. and it goes by the percent that was passed per the 219 action plan. So what HUD does is they ask us to update that plan because it allows them to give us the money and us to get the money out the door more quickly, as opposed to then looking at the 2021. They actually update the previous plans. I thought the Community Development Director, Mel Rand Leach, was on the call to better explain that, because this has happened a number of times, and I remember it happening when I was on City Council, and CDBG would come back and they would say, hey, you guys need to amend it to accept this money, and that way we can send it all to you, as opposed to a fresh amendment. So the percentages go out, and I'd just like to remind Council Vice President, this is the money that you're asking about the other day to help the residents of the city of East Cleveland that were looking at being evicted. So we need legislation like this passed. I apologize to those who don't fully understand something, but it is the department's job and the job up here to fully understand it. I would ask that you bear with us sometimes when you don't 100% understand something, yet see to it that you don't deny residents of the city access to these resources because of you don't completely understand it, right? So I would ask that you not do that. A lot of these things are time sensitive. So I would ask that you move for its adoption and pass this so that we can get these funds and we can get them into use. So far as homelessness, we can sit down with someone like the Salvation Army who provides services to homeless, and we can give them some money to do that.
Mayor King, I am on the line.
Wait a minute, I'm not sure yet. Mayor King, can you, since there seems to be some unreadiness with some of this, can you have your people look into if we can do anything with some of this money on for homeless people, if we have any homeless people in East Cleveland, and I think we do. Again, I think the other question was
Yeah,
about,
we got to look into that. Not
Okay.
Let us do it.
well, no, I'm asking, y'all do it, but I'm asking you, because you guys deal with this thing on a daily basis. I'm asking you to look, have your smart people look into and see if we can do that, please.
Councilman Martin, I am on the line. I can address that.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Needs.
The East Cleveland does not have a large enough homeless population where we've ever designated money to homeless. The homeless services that Cleveland provides covers East Cleveland. If we found the need and we said that we want to use some of our CARES Act money towards the homeless, by all means we can, as long as it doesn't reach a certain threshold that would enact us to do an amendment to the action plan. But that's based on 25% of the budget. I don't think us addressing the homeless, if you could tell me a little bit of what you think that you would want to do, and I could tell you if that would enact a...
Basically, what I'm ignorant about homeless in East Cleveland. That's why I brought it up. When I got this thing in the mail from the Northeast Ohio homeless, I said, I want to do, we have homeless in East Cleveland. So I that's why when I saw this, I said I was going to bring it up. So to me, if we have 4 or 5 homeless people, if there's anything we can do to help them, that's what this CARES Act money is all about. So, which that's my concern is, I don't know if we have homeless people. That's why I asked the question to get some information.
So if we go back to November 18th, when we get the needs assessment, that's when things like this is supposed to be brought up. And that's when we put it in the
action plan or something like that?
Yes, that goes in the action plan. So when we do the needs assessment and we do that survey, that's when the part is in there about the homeless.
But just and I hear what you're saying, Mr. Will, intently, homeless people are struggling to get by, so they wouldn't come to say, well, I'm homeless or whatever. I just can't believe that we don't have homeless people. Maybe they stand down on 22nd. I volunteered down there for a while, but so if we don't have it, fine. But if we do, I think we definitely need to address some of that with terrorist money. I thank you for your input, sir.
And
We gotta move.
Can I
Madam
make a comment?
President,
We gotta move it fast because we running out of time. Let's move it fast.
may,
Can I make a comment?
We're not gonna move it. We need to define out what the money is
Right.
spent on.
Mr. Austin, go ahead. Oh,
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry, Ms. Gowdy. Mr. Austin wants to make a comment.
Go ahead, Mr. Austin.
Thank you very much. Looking at resolution 28-21, I know that you have went to the courts. I remember the judge saying that Councilwoman Gotti went to the courts to help someone not be evicted. So these dollars, and I personally know folks that are waiting on this support from the city because these dollars haven't been officially released in a way that will allow those folks to actually have those rents paid. I think March 30th was the last day for the eviction moratorium. And I think that these dollars were, I don't want to say advised to be in the pipeline somewhere. And I would like to see if there's anything we can clear up tonight to allow these dollars to be released so that those folks that are on the cusp of being evicted can be, how can I say, save the pain for their children and their family, for the residents of East Cleveland, because they've been waiting for months to get this information and or dollars passed. Thank you.
and Madam, may I be recognized, Madam President, Vice President Gowdy?
Yes, I recognize you.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't want the mayor nor Director Leash to think that I was bereft of my responsibility to supply you guys with the supporting documentation that had the breakdown listed in each category. If you recall, along with this legislation came what looks like a bill, but that bill actually had a breakdown of each category as to where the respective funds were going, even down to say street lights or food assistance or rental assistance. It was all broken down in that supporting documentation. And that's what I resent when I think Council President Stevenson had a question in order to clarify what was questionable in her mind. So I resent that breakdown. It looks like a bill, like you would get from a laundromat or something, but it really is a breakdown, a succinct categorization of each line item where every dime goes. And we already passed the 657,000, but now we're getting an additional $110,800 in CARES Act funding. So you've already passed the bulk of the monies, and the next 110,000 will be appropriately, proportionally added to that in the respective categories. As Director Lee said, we're already passed and approved way back November 18th. Am I being too fuzzy?
No,
I
the only thing that I know that we passed, when we passed that money, we didn't pass to know where the money went.
The $110,800. It's all in that categorization.
Willa
Uh-huh.
only passed to accept that money. We didn't know where the money was actually going. And now we need some discussion of where this money is going to go. And we need it in writing and it need to be broken down.
Well, we have to accept it first before it can go anywhere.
Well, we need to know what we accepted, and we need to, and the chair recognized Nathan.
It's in the supporting documentation.
Okay, well, so you're going way back to November? That's when it was back then, Willa? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, when we got the additional $110,000, then I resent the breakdown. It was attached, it was on the last page. Melvin, can you clarify what that supporting documentation was. Do you have it before you? I didn't bring the supporting.
I sent it. I sent
Right
the
now,
breakdown.
We is not recognizing you, Mel Ron Leach, right now. She's still discussing, and at the time that she actually said that the CARE Act money or the money of the CDG funding, we accepted the money, but we didn't tell you to spend the money.
No. That money hasn't been spent yet. This particular new money, we just got awarded it. So we're just asking you to accept it now. And now that we have a new understanding, I know as soon as I get something, Madam Vice President, I send it to you. So does, I think Charles, the finance director, and I think everybody else has been advised to send every single contract as we promised.
Yeah, but it ain't in writing and how it's gonna be spent.
And the contracts that you all saying aren't signed.
Well, you said you wanted them prior to their, prior to their execution.
I got a question.
We'll let him, we're gonna recognize Nathan Mark because time is,
Yeah, I don't-
Okay.
I need information from Willa and Mr. Leach.
Okay.
Can you give us an update on how many people in the city of East Cleveland that we've helped with rental assistance? Can you give us a breakdown on that?
So far to date, it's been $72,000.
Okay, $72,000 in rentals. Mr. Leach, Mail Ron? Hello?
I don't know if I'm supposed to answer your question or not.
Yeah. Well, my question is, how many people? I 72,000, that's a good thing, but I'm trying to find out how many people have we helped? Because the rental assistance is a big thing. It's very important. This money is very important. So can you get me, if you can't give me now, you can send it to our clerks, a breakdown of how many people we've helped with rental assistance in the city of East Cleveland. Can you do that, sir?
And
you or the law director send that to our clerks because this is important information.
And I'm glad that on this
hold it. Willa, you want to say something about that?
Melvin, is that the spreadsheet that we got today?
Am I allowed to talk? Can I answer the question?
Miss Gowdy, can I speak?
Go ahead, Chair.
42 people have received funding from the CARES Act money that we have spent so far.
No, my question.
42 families or homes or whatever.
Oh,
the number is
thank you.
42.
Is that specifically Willa for rental assistance? I know the CARES Act.
Yes, Mr. Martin. Yes.
So be specific, please.
So
Colleen Stevenson. Okay. 42.
42.
Only
Now,
thing you guys should be discussing.
This 100. Let me ask you this: 110,800. Was some of that money go to a rental assistance too? Willa Hemmings.
I don't have that. I would defer to Director Leach.
Brother Leach, I'm listening.
We gonna talk to the mayor.
Yeah. No, he deals with this on a daily.
The mayor.
Can you allow Mr. Leach to speak, Mayor?
He's giving them the thumbs up.
Yes, Mr. Leach.
Yes.
Mr. Leach.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, as the mayor stated, proportionately, we're going to take the same funds and proportionally do the same thing we did with food assistance, rental assistance. So all that same breakdown will go down percentage wise and make sure we help the people with the rental assistance. Right now, Cleveland Housing Network has suspended assisting East Cleveland residents because they weren't paid yet. We're hoping to get them a check this week so they can restart assisting East Cleveland residents.
Yes, council, please consider this. Council Vice President, you ran up on me in the hallway with a resident that was about to be evicted, and you asked for this, right? Here it is in front of you. Please act responsibly.
Mayor, that was unnecessary.
No, What? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You ran up on me in the hallway. Passing
Listen, we did not get no notice. We did not get no notice that you was giving out some money until I ran across Martin coming into the door. I was giving out some rental money to the residents, and the only residents was actually getting the rental money was Ward.
We've been talking about this for months.
And listen, I did not support this, but I'm saying it need to be broke down, and Melron Leach do not need your permission to speak, because we are counsel. We tell him when he can speak.
People are going to become
Not
homeless
yours.
with this legislation, and you're not passing it. You want to help the homeless?
Madam President, what is your pleasure?
Legislation. You want to help the homeless? Pass the legislation.
What is your pleasure? I don't have no problem helping anybody, but it's decent in order, and we need to know how the breakdown going to be, and we need to be involved. Council need to be involved.
I would add, and let's be positive, that if this is good stuff and we're helping people, you play a role administrative wise, and we play a role as council people, so that they can see the council people are involved in helping them with that.
Madam, may I be recognized, Madam Vice President? I think that maybe I don't have.
I support this. I support this, but I am not going to have feel like he can attack somebody because we ask questions. And I'm going to ask questions because we need to stay involved and get involved with this.
Madam Vice President, may I be recognized? I don't think I have your correct email address because we're trying to get the information as fast as possible. So tomorrow, can I just get your correct email address so that we can get the information to you more correctly and accurately, okay?
But it was all.
Yeah, this is important. Gotti's out there, Smith's out there, Stevenson's out there, and if I'm up there and talking to a resident and she say, well, I need rental assistance, but she's got it, it would be wise, and I say this with all humility, for me to have a list of people who are getting rental assistance, so I can say, well, Ms. Brown, you got some rental assistance of such and such. We need to be informed about that. We all in this. It's important.
Council Vice President, can I have the floor, please?
Madam President, what is your pleasure?
My pleasure is to put it back in committee. I can pull it out of committee as soon as I get my answers, but I need answers.
Before we put it back in committee, my question is, can we get that kind of information? Because it's important. Yes, I'm waiting for an answer.
I just sent it to you.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Clerk, so everyone can get it, not just me. We
I sent it to the clerks as well.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Can I ask a question before we get off this legislation?
Yes, it's going to be removed right back to the committee so we can get more discussion and all that.
Can I ask the question? Can I ask the question before we move it back to committee?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. I want to, because oftentimes when there's a lot of discussion, then we kind of lose focus on what is actually required by the administration. Can we clarify what the ask is so that I can be clear when I see the appropriate response, I'll know that I've reached that response. And or if there is a absolute necessity to put this back into committee, like I said, I want to make sure I'm clear as to what is being asked for, so that when I obviously meet that mark, I can tell the folks that have asked, why is East Cleveland not on the list for rental assistance, and or what the problem is. And when the mayor says that it's council, it's not the administration, then I can say, well, we're waiting on one thing. And if we're just waiting on nothing, or we just respectfully, as to use the Councilwoman Stevenson's term, filibustering, then this is a very bad thing for our residents. So just I'm just want to know what the ask is. Thank you.
Counselor Gowdy, can I make a statement? I wasn't gonna do this, Mayor King, but I'm gonna have to do it.
Yes, you may.
First of all, the people of East Cleveland are not in harm's way of not getting rental assistance. It's my understanding that the county has picked up rental assistance. And as a result, anybody in the county of Cuyahoga who needs rental assistance can get it. My concern is that the legislation is not clear. And I need the legislation to be clear so that the council knows what we're voting on. It's just that simple. And I asked for that 2 weeks ago at the first read, and I still don't have it. And if Willa Hammond says she sent it, I haven't seen it. And I've gone through all my mail and all of my documents. So I haven't seen it.
It was the last page in the supporting documentation.
Well,
I need some clarification.
Yeah.
Put it back in front of
Okay,
but we going back and forth. We going back and forth. I'm
uh,
getting ready to ask
hold
for
it,
the
hold
roll
it,
to be called.
Okay, I got a question. Right, because based on what Corrine just said, so the 42 families that got rental assistance, it didn't come from our pot of money, it came from a county? Is that my understanding?
The money
That isn't
that's
correct.
been spent already has been spent by CHN. We owe them. That's what the $72,000 is that they're referring to. We have to pay our bill.
Okay, can we move on so we can discuss this in committee, please?
Well,
Madam
clarification.
Madam President, what is your pleasure so we can move on?
Put it in committee. I need to talk about
Okay,
this.
so this is going into committee. Pass the gavel back.
Okay, before you put it in committee, one question,
It's already passed.
how long do we have, this is to the mayor, how long do we have all year to spend this money?
Thank you, Councilman Martin.
Yeah.
The Community Development Director is on the line. I would like to yield to him to clarify a lot of the things that have just been said. Mr. Leach, can you clarify that and answer his question?
The gavel has been
Okay.
passed back,
Let
y'all.
her
Go ahead, please.
What I would want to go
answer
back
my
to and
question.
say,
Got the gavel.
the one thing I like to say is one with Tim Austin, Councilman Tim Austin asks, what is it exactly that you want to make sure we can provide it? Because everything, to my knowledge, we have provided. We did a needs assessment on November the 18th. We did a public meeting and drafted the action plan that was done on January 27th. Both of those meetings were posted on the website, and all documents that we have are on the East Cleveland website. And these meetings were posted in the Plain Dealer. So if we go on the City of East Cleveland website, every document is right there.
Okay, because we ain't gonna keep on going back and forth. It's already in committee, so let's move on.
And that's as to the last $110,800 because the
Madam President,
657's
you got the gavel.
already passed.
Madam President, you got the gavel.
Madam
Clerk,
Resolution 2821 has been returned to committee.
It still hasn't been answered. What is it that we're supposed to provide?
Discuss it in committee.
You can get it in writing when we discuss it in committee.
Do we have an idea when that will be, Council Vice President? We can't hold the residents' services up. We still need to provide services. Do you have an idea when we'll get this in writing?
It was the president that wanted it in the committee, and that's where it's at. And you're gonna have to ask her no more.
Can we get it in writing before your committee so we can get it to you? That would be great.
yep. I am going to schedule a committee meeting forthwith. Clerk,
Next, we have remarks and requests of the public. 3-minute time limit, please.
Are there any of the public available to speak to us tonight?
Hello,
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
my name is Kim. I live on 80 Road here in East Cleveland. I just wanted to, I don't know if I would call it a complaint or just a comment regarding the store that's on 80 Road at the corner of 80 and East 129th. There's a lot of illegal activity that takes place in and around the store, and also a lot of loud music from vehicles who patronize that store. They've stopped here from the time it opens throughout the day until it closes. Yes.
I'm going to stop you right there. Is the chief of police still on the line?
Yes, he is, Madam President.
Yes, Madam Council President.
I would ask chief that you make contact with this resident. Can you all, after this meeting is over, make contact?
Yes, ma'am. I'll actually send her a private message right now.
Okay, that'll be great. Ma'am, I'm not cutting you off, but we don't like to get into that kind of situation with the residents here. We like to handle it in a different kind of manner so that
Okay.
everybody remains safe.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other residents?
Omaze. First of all, I'm gonna start with the discussion legislation. This seemed to be so discombobulated that I would use that terminology opposed to what I really want to say. I have never encountered this kind of mess going on. When you discuss one piece of legislation, the legislature in before you, that's the only thing you discuss, nothing else. If you say you're going to table it, you table it. Go back into the committee, go back into the committee. And all this rough and any information, as I said before, money that comes into this city must come before council and you discuss how it to be spent and what it's to be spent on. Council represent the people of this community. You are derelict in your responsibility when you get money in here and you're saying, oh, unless it's earmarked how it is to be spent, then you cannot change that. But if that money comes in here, and what have you, and now council should have money, for an example, the piece you're discussing, go back into committee. That should come before council. Council has the authority also to contact people to get this money. You have this money. That's what it's supposed to be spent on, and not just the mayor or the administration. The council has a response. You represent the people of this community, and it's under you. And second, the council, you have allowed at
1:45 p.m.
somebody interrupted talking while I'm talking.
Caption, verdict count 3. The jury in the above entitled matter as to count 3. Second degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable.
What's going on here?
Please mute your mic. Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Mays.
Thank you. Number 2, council has the authority. I want the mayor, I want the.
What is that?
Believe your own eyes in the video.
That is not me. Stop saying my name every time you hear something.
Clerks, can you mute the mics, please? Thank you.
That speaks powerfully. First and foremost, the Floyd family, senior on NBC News, reacted to it. The verdict speaks as well. It's the witnesses and the guilt they said they felt that being unable to stop.
That's just totally unprofessional. Anyway, as I was saying, you got the mic on, or you messing with it?
Can you hear Mr. Omaze?
Yes, we can hear him now. Go ahead.
Okay, shut up now. As I was about to say, the administration I'll just call names, the mayor nor the law director can direct or tell council who they can hire. You have the authority. You don't have to get no permission from the law director or the mayor to hire your employees. If you wish to hire an attorney to assist you in your endeavors, in your branch of government, you can do that. You don't have to get the mayor, and they must pay them. If you hire them, whomever you hire, they must pay them. They don't have no authority to tell you who to hire, and you can't hire this and you can't hire that. They don't have that authority, nor does the mayor, nor does the law director. So I'm letting you know that we have had law directors in the council. We have hired them during my tenure and even before my tenure. So don't listen to what they tell you. You don't have to write no legislation to hire your employees. You hire them just like the mayor write legislation to hire in his branch. No, you don't have to do it either. You don't have to get his permission. You have allowed him to operate this branch of government. You done usurped your authority. And you're going along with it. Secondly, the contract or what have you, and all these contracts should have been discussed in committee, etc. And then when you're paying so many thousands of dollars just to put some alarms in, that is ridiculous. But anyway, I have said before, and I'll say again, maybe it's to remind you, council, these contracts have got a lot of folks behind bars, and it's going to continue to get people behind bars. And I see a lot of people want to co-sponsor this or co-sponsor that to get their votes or whatever. You better know what you're voting for, and you better take time and question these things and bring these folks before you, these contractors, whomever you.
How much time we get to talk?
Contract.
The time not up yet?
I wish you'd be quiet and let me speak.
Mr. Austin, he was interrupted.
He's at 4 minutes, Council President. We gave him an extra minute.
No, I've been interrupted all of this time. So as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. You serve at the behest of the council. At the behest of the people. You should want to hear what the people have to say and not interrupting them. So remember that. So he has discombobulated me here what I was about to say in reference to the legislation and these you can co-sponsor this and co-sponsor. You're going to be co-sponsored next door to your council in jail. You better bring you bring the contractors before you. You bring the administration or whomever before you to discuss that and why you are rewarding them the contract. You have that authority to do that before you award any contract.
Thank you. Are there any more remarks to the public? Hearing none, clerk.
Responsive council and mayor to remarks of the public.
Council.
Mr. Irby.
Oh, go ahead.
It was hard to unmute my mic, but I understand that we're supposed to be doing stuff legal and legislature wise. I want y'all to start paying attention to what the city looks like. I want you to pay attention to what the city has to offer. I want y'all to pay attention to what goes up and down our streets. There is no change yet. There's no restaurants to eat at. There is no grocery stores to buy food at. There's no clothing store to buy any of it in. Do y'all realize there is no business in East Cleveland as to sit here and look up and down Euclid Avenue, to go down Superior, and to see how much drug activities in this street. And then you have residents here telling you that, hey, we got too many drugs on our street, when you have nothing here to offer. And then to get COVID money mismanaged, misdirected, and show not appropriate to where it's supposed to be. To sit here and listen to counselors joke and complain, to sit here and hear moralistic people make statements that are not true, well, when do it change? East Cleveland is supposed to be on the move up. I don't want to keep hearing, oh, we're going to change it. We're going to change it. Show me better than you can tell me. There is nothing new coming to East Cleveland except for the chaos of money that is missing. The same problems. Y'all got more problems than legislature from 97 than you got today. And some of this stuff should have been done and changed for people in East Cleveland to have better. Our houses are not painted because somebody messed up with the program. The structure, you give it to the people on the hill. You don't give it to the people down the hill. Then for to find out that the food banks that you applied for, that when we need it, we still don't get it because you gave it to the people that were on your list. That's the most terriblest thing to find out. You say, hey, put together a block club. Block club makes the phone call, and especially when it's in our ward right behind our streets and not a box delivered it to, get for real or get tired or get gone. Maybe it is time to start voting and stepping people out of the position that they are in. We are tired, we are fed up, and it looks terrible. You can come around here and tell us our houses look terrible, but where's the program to finish it? Some of us were hurt to where we cannot do it ourselves. And to be finding out that this is how y'all sit back and bicker back and forth, it did not change from 97 until now. East Cleveland looks terrible. Look out your window. Police force is terrible. Fire is terrible. Mayor's office table, council's office table, all of y'all tables got mess on it that you need to clean up first. Do for us, the people, and not for yourselves, because we make East Cleveland what it is. You want us to come out and pick up behind everybody else, even when the contractors leave mess in this street. Do for East Cleveland. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Irby. Is there any other public discussion? Hearing none, clerk.
Response of council and mayor to remarks of the public.
Mayor King.
Thank you, Council President. Try to make this brief. Like to reiterate this Saturday, April 24th, at the Martin Luther King Jr. Civic Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There is a group of organizations that will be providing free diapers and other supplies, as well as much needed information to single moms. I would encourage everyone to come out and take part in that. You don't have to be a single mom, but the information is geared towards single moms. Also this Saturday, we will start the East Cleveland Clean on Belvoir, 8:30 a.m. to 3:30. I would encourage City Council, please read. Check your emails and read. A lot of information that you're requesting has been provided. No problems. We will provide it again. But please check your emails and read, because a lot of this legislation we need to pass in order to keep services provided to our residents of the great city of East Cleveland. As I stated earlier, today was a great day for this country, and I'm really blown away by the written remarks of our Ohio Attorney General. And I'll just read them for you. I don't know if you can see them. This is Dave Yost. He says, and I quote, "What Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd is murder. He killed more than a man. He nearly killed the hope of justice. The jury called it murder and restored that hope. Chauvin dishonored his badge and a noble profession. That should weigh heavily on his sentencing hearing." I was really blown away by David Yost saying that. Council President, that concludes my remarks. Unless there's any questions or concerns of me, I bid everyone adieu. Thank you all for coming out. God bless you. God bless East Cleveland. God bless the country.
Clerk. Thank you, Mayor King. Clerk.
Do you have any remarks from the council?
Counselor Gowdy?
I would like to wait for a while after everybody else get finished and after the
Counselor Martin?
Yeah, I want to say this because I think it's important to be said. Number one, I'm going to talk about the historical day today because I looked at it for an hour before I came to this meeting. I think that there has been some improvement. I think base hasn't been the greatest over the 20 years. Buy houses and increase our tax base, we're going to have the challenge, but we survive. Our financial situation is a little bit better. Down Euclid the last few days.
Councilor Martin, your speaker keeps going in and out.
I said, let me start over again. Okay.
Oh, come on.
I think there's been, and we can't be so negative. Why are we so? Euclid Avenue is being paid. That's a plus. We're moving forward. We have McGregor. That's a plus. Dixon. That's a plus. Yeah. Okay, so we can't always. Okay, our tax base. Increase our tax base, we'll be able to do a number of things for the citizens. Okay, we with unlimited potential. Okay, we're trying. Situation, and people were talking about hopelessness. Well, we don't have hopelessness in East Cleveland. We can do better.
What is he doing?
Mr. Martin, your microphone keeps shutting off. What's going on?
6 or 7 years ago, we have great buildings. We have teachers. We're doing. We have the Salvation Army. I would ask them to talk to your neighbors. Their part. I would ask of you to make sure that your yard is clean. I would ask of you if you walk out, you need to pick up some paper. You pick up some paper. We live in East Cleveland. And it ain't that bad. And I have spoken. Thank you.
Counselor Austin.
Greeting. Thank you, ma'am. Again, I want to say that a lot of things that we are exceptionally concerned about, we can influence. If you want to see some businesses, more business in the city, let's start opening up some businesses ourselves. Let's be creative and see what your niche may be. And it may be the way to that fortune that you've always wanted and or deserved. As far as some of the things that are going on that directly impacts the council, I think somebody talked about some of the things that were directly impact on the council. I think it's good that some residents want to get, be the sixth person on council. It is. So I think that getting involved at a more, in a more supportive role, and showing something other than just, how can I say, negative motivation, some positive motivation, because there are some positive things that are going on and some services that are being provided. And without those services being provided, then the city would be much worse off. Seeing where we are now and knowing that in about 2 years from now, a lot of the development and or things that we want to realize will be realized. Over the next few months, there's going to be some get-together, some meetings to discuss the visioning of East Cleveland and the renaissance of East Cleveland.
And I ask that each of our residents start getting more involved with that and kind of start, you know, poking and prodding the administration to find out what right looks like and how do we get there. There are some plans that we as a city need to be briefed on and advised of. And then that way, like one of my predecessors said, you know, hope can be restored. Thank you, Councilor Martin, because I still have hope. I still want the best for our city, and I'm willing to put my hands to the plow and not look back till we get there. So thank you very much, and that's all I have.
Councilor Gowdy.
Yes, I would like to thank everybody from listening in, and I thank everybody for coming out for the council meeting. But I do want to encourage you out there, don't sell your house, don't give up, change is coming. We have a community loves East Cleveland. We got residents that love East Cleveland, and we not gonna give up the fight. Of our streets and stuff. And we definitely gonna be in this fight together. Don't give up, please, don't give up. Don't sell your house. Change is coming.
Change is coming.
Is that all you have, Ms. Gowdy? Hello?
Yes, the cleanup is going to be May 8th at 10 o'clock a.m. to 4 on Saturday. And all the counselors that help me to bring this about. It's going to be the whole East Cleveland. Clean 4 all the way down 4-2. Wake up, clean up. Let's do it. So that's all I have to say. And y'all have a blessed. You have a blessed night.
That brings our meeting to me. This May 8th cleanup, I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't have enough information. I guess I'll get some more before that date gets here. I would like to ask the clerks to schedule a finance committee meeting. Either next Tuesday or sometime, I don't know how many Tuesdays we have left, but we have to get this legislation in the committee because there's a lot of things I think in this legislation that don't float to the top. And like Mr. May says, we need to know what's going on with all of this different stuff. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming, and I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you again and have a good evening.
Meeting is adjourned at 8:20 p.m.
Thank you, clerk.